What's up, guys? It's Michael Key, your host of Real Conservative Talk, back again with Zach Lopez here. What's up, Zach?
What's going on, everybody? I'm going to apologize beforehand. My nose is stopped up.
So, Zach, I sent you an article today, the first thing I want to talk about, and I'm not sure if you had read it yet, but it talks about Kyle Rittenhouse.
Okay.
You know who Kyle Rittenhouse is, right?
Yeah.
So, for those of you that don't know, Kyle Rittenhouse is the 17-year-old that had shot those three people during the Kenosha BLM riots last year, and I think he killed two of them. He shot him with the AR-15.
Yeah,
So,
but wasn't it self-defense?
the video that I've seen, and I think the video that everyone else has seen, definitely shows self-defense. So basically what happened was the first person he had shot was actually throwing Molotov cocktails at him and another friend.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's something.
Well, I mean, pretty dangerous, I would say.
Hell yeah, it's dangerous.
So he was throwing Molotov cocktails, and he shoots that guy in the head.
Okay.
As soon as he shoots him, they start administering care, and he calls someone and says, "Oh, I just killed someone." He then
Wait, but who did he call? He don't just say somebody. Who did he call?
So they say a friend, maybe.
Uh-huh.
A friend could be maybe someone he was helping out or working for when they were doing this riot.
Yeah.
A friend could be anyone. He could have not called 911. I don't know exactly who he called.
Uh-huh.
But he said, "I just killed someone." But the big thing is, he starts walking towards the police.
Yeah.
He was going to turn himself in.
Oh, okay.
As he's walking towards the police, two other people come up and attack him. One domes him on the head with a skateboard.
That's one way to
and
do
tries
it.
to take away the AR-15. The other one has a pistol that he pulls out.
Okay.
Okay, so he was armed. And this is all clearly shown on the video.
Uh-huh.
100%. You have to understand, they're in the middle of a riot. There's a lot going on. This is a Black Lives Matter riot
Uh-huh.
protesting white people
Uh-huh.
that have committed a racial act supposedly against one of the black guys that got killed by a police officer. Basically,
Okay.
Blake, I think, was the last name.
I don't know his last name.
So, there's a lot going on, a lot of chaos around him. He's been hit with a skateboard. He's on the ground.
Right.
The guy's trying to take his gun. The other guy has a pistol.
Okay.
He starts shooting. He only shoots them.
The two.
Yeah.
The one who hits him and the other guy.
Yeah, with the gun.
Okay.
Thank God he only shot them.
Yeah, thankfully.
So, come to find out, the first guy he shot, Zach, in the head that was throwing the Molotov cocktails,
Yeah.
an 11-time child molester.
Okay. Well, good thing he shot him.
He was charged with 11 counts of child molestation, including anal rape of a child. So let me tell you guys something. Okay. I don't know what the turnout of this trial will be, but I will say this. And this guy was charged and convicted, and it was 5 different children between ages 9 and 11 years old. We're not even talking like a 17-year-old that maybe he was dating. We're talking about fucking children between 9 and 11 years old.
That is disgusting beyond belief.
That was God's way of making the world right again.
Yes.
And I'm not afraid to say that. Let me tell you something. If you touched my kid, you have a couple 223 rounds waiting for your ass too.
You got way worse than that if you touch my kid.
And the problem is that the left, Zach, they're going to end up making pedophilia okay.
How can you validate that?
Don't ask me. Well, there's just crazy people out there, but I think that's going to be something that the left ends up doing.
But you know what? Speaking on that, I saw something. I think I saw something today that dealt something with a pedophilia flag, as in like like an LGBTQ flag.
What?
Yeah, I saw something where there's a flag out there for pedophiles, and it's basically, I guess, their way of, saying that pedophilia might be okay. I don't really know. I didn't look a whole lot into it because as soon as I saw that there was a flag that stood for that, I got kind of upset and just, dipped out on that. Because that's ridiculous beyond ridiculous.
I'm almost shaking listening to that and just thinking about this, that people in this world think that this is okay. If you're 9 to 11 years old, first of all, you don't have a lot of power over a man. Okay? You don't have any power. You don't make your decisions. And rape, fucking rape. Here's the thing. If you think that it is okay to touch a minor
in any fashion, that's not your kid.
No. What do you mean that's not your kid?
Okay,
no, I'm talking about that. Yeah, like
I was leaning to add in discipline to that as well.
Yeah, we're not talking about beating someone's ass, like whooping your kid or something.
Okay.
We're talking about fucking touching in a sexual manner or whatever. Like, you are fucking weird, and you should be fucking shot.
Yeah, there's no excuse, reason, whatever you want to call it. Because I guarantee you, people come across and say, "Oh, well, it's a mental illness. It's something that needs to be treated." Blah blah blah. No, there's no mental illness that deems it okay for you to touch a young kid at all, ever in life. You never do that.
Like, this guy went to prison and only served 2 years. Here's the other thing. He was also out on bond for a domestic violence charge. He was homeless because his wife told him not to come home because he had beat her ass.
So he was a fuckhead. He's a scum of the earth.
He was a fucking idiot that deserved to get shot in the head. If you molested and raped 9-year-olds, there were 5 different kids. He took a plea deal to 2 amended charges, I guess, right? And he got 2 years. So that was God's way of making it right. If he really did that shit, I'm sorry. I don't care what Facebook says about me putting this on there or what anyone else fucking your opinion wants to be. If you touch a kid,
you're a terrible person.
You should deserve to be buried under hell.
Correct.
That is fucking bullshit. And I'm cussing a lot right now, I know, but I'm shaking thinking of that. That we're... If Kyle Rittenhouse gets tried to murder, right, I will never think of him as a murderer for killing that guy. I can't. And what's crazy, Zach, is the article that I read. It said, that the charge, they explained the charges of that guy. Joseph Rosenbaum was the guy's name. They explain his charges, and it says that, his past history shouldn't be considered when talking about this trial. Normally, that you're right, because what you did in the past and you served time for doesn't mean that was the basis of why you were involved with this other ordeal. Okay.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this, he's throwing Molotov cocktails at this guy who's a minor, by the way, 17 years old. Okay. So a minor shot and killed a guy that has a history of raping minors.
So it's like a double self-defense almost.
In
my mind.
But he's out on bond for domestic violence, being violent. He's raped minors before. We should take that into consideration because that's going to show us. Well, he has a tendency to do bad shit.
Right.
Just a thought. The other guy. One of the other guys the other guy he shot and killed, Huber was his last name. Has a strangulation. Was involved in a strangulation case, and charged in a strangulation case.
What is a strangulation case?
Like he was fucking strangling someone. I don't know if it was murder or attempted murder or what, but that's
So basically, he took care of 2 scum of the earth.
I think all 3 of them were criminals. Had criminal charges.
Whew. I wonder what side they were standing for.
Here's the other thing. Is the guy Rosenbaum, the child molester, is at a Black Lives Matter rally that is protesting racism in America and was yelling the N-word at Rittenhouse.
What?
Yeah, and he's a white guy, for those of you that don't know. So he's an idiot, and he's mental, because why would you do that?
That's so
But you obviously weren't there protesting Black Lives Matter if you're white and you're yelling the N-word. That defeats the whole purpose of the rally. I'm surprised someone else didn't shoot him.
But you know what's funny is that there's people who will defend them for some BS reason.
Well, when I was watching the opening arguments today, they were the defense, which is Kyle Rittenhouse. For Kyle Rittenhouse, they were putting out all the pictures and the videos and everything and going through it. And the plaintiff is like looking, and he's trying to object to all this, and the judge is like, nah. And it was almost like, this is going to be an embarrassing trial. I don't see him going to jail.
I hope he doesn't go to jail. I hope to God that judge understands the gracious thing that kid did by getting rid of them.
Well, it was self-defense too. They were trying to take the gun out of his hand. Like the video clearly shows this. If you don't think it was self-defense, like you're blind, because they're taking the gun from him, right? There's video of the guy throwing fucking fireballs at him, for one, the first guy, and then they're taking the gun and hitting him with a skateboard, and the other guy's pulling a gun out on him.
Yeah.
And he's 17 years old. He's scared. He was there administering aid and helping everyone. Come to find out, they say, well, why was a 17-year-old in Kenosha? I'm not saying he should have been out there, right?
Yeah.
But
that was going to be my next question.
His dad actually lives in Kenosha. And he works in Kenosha as a lifeguard. And he was there. He was helping clean up graffiti around the town, clean up the town, doing some community service stuff. And then was like, oh, well, we're going to help people at this rally, too.
Really?
Yeah, they were just there to help and administer aid to whoever, because, these rallies had gotten pretty violent. Like, they were kind of just minding their own business, really. It wasn't until the guy starts yelling the N-word at him and throwing fireballs at him that he shoots someone. And then he only shot the other two people because they were literally in the process of beating his ass. And it shows it on video. And then when he got done, he holds the gun up and he's walking towards the cops with his hands up. Now, people say, oh, the white privilege because the cops didn't stop in and they just drove right past him in the video, right? When he's like trying to surrender himself. That's neither here nor there. I'm just saying that he only shot and killed someone because he was being attacked.
Which is self-defense.
Yes.
In that situation.
Yes.
But, yeah.
He shouldn't have been there. As a 17-year-old, I wouldn't have let my kid out there, especially with an AR-15. My kid's not going to walk around anywhere with an AR-15.
Yeah.
Okay? That is a parenting issue. But he was there. But you can't send this guy to jail because he shot and killed someone in self-defense.
Yeah, but can they charge? They can't charge him as an adult, can they?
Yeah, they can.
Oh, really?
Fuck yeah.
I didn't know they could.
If they wanted to. There's people that have committed murder that are charged as an adult.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. There's child molesters that have been charged as adults.
Well.
And I think this Rosenbaum guy was like out of a mental hospital too. Like I think they were trying to get him to a mental. This guy was fucked up in the head.
Was he? Did they ever find out if he was part of Antifa?
I don't care. I don't know. But I don't care.
Well, I'd be curious on that, just for the simple fact that Antifa could recruit somebody like that.
Oh, they wouldn't care. Why would they care?
Well, I know they wouldn't care. I just
they probably
curious.
like people like that with violent history, and they're the ones that are okay with all that shit.
Yeah, it's just a curiosity question.
Look, if you are okay with pedophilia,
yeah,
you deserve to take a 223 to the head.
Yep.
In fact, maybe even the 308. Like you should be fucking castrated.
Yeah, that's not okay. Not in any sense.
This is going to be kicked off of Facebook. I don't
Probably.
care. And if I lose followers or listeners because they don't like the way I'm talking about a child molester, then I don't want you listening anyway. I don't want child molesters listening to this show.
Yeah.
You're a fuckhead if you are doing that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And you deserve everything you get touching a child. Like that. There's a reason why when you go to prison, these guys, you basically die in prison, or they get, they keep you away from everyone because no one likes it. Even the worst people in the world don't like that shit.
That's right. That's right. All right. Before we just go off the rails. Next subject.
Okay, so
Next subject.
next subject may piss me off too.
Oh, well, here we go.
It's all right. So I want to talk about the Unrealized Gains Act, the tax, the Unrealized Gains Tax. I want to, we talked about this before.
You're just bringing up all the idiotic things that would frustrate me today, aren't you?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of idiotic things that happens.
That's fair.
There's a lot of good things that happen too.
Yeah.
But unrealized capital gains, made up capital gains.
Uh-huh.
You can literally interchange the words because it's on paper. It's not real. It doesn't exist. It's only real once you sell it and can use the money.
Yeah.
But we want to tax unrealized capital gains.
Well, not we.
Well, the government.
Right.
They want to tax unrealized capital gains. They want to tax it on billionaires. Here's the thing. I looked up today, 56% of adults own individual stocks. U.S. adults. 56%. And 47.5% own mutual funds. Usually in your 401k or your IRA. All a mutual fund is it's a pool with a bunch of investments. So you can buy, a share of a mutual fund and you're invested in like 100 different companies. It beats you having to just pay the same amount of money for just one share of a stock.
Yeah.
Diversification, right? But if you start taxing unrealized gains with these billionaires, what are they going to do? They're going to pull their money out of the market.
Yeah.
You're also disincentivizing anyone to invest in the market because that's where they're really aiming at the stock market with this. They're going to do it with real estate, but they're looking to do that more so like when you die and you transfer that asset. What they're going to do is they're going to appraise the value of your stock portfolio at the end of the year or a certain time of year, see what the value is, you pay a tax on it, okay? You have a couple problems that you run into with that. First of all, it's not real. Second of all, they're not accounting for risks. The reason why you don't tax unrealized capital gains is because of risk, because the value of the stock goes up and down.
Right.
You're taking on risk. Elon Musk is worth $250 billion. He does not have money to pay taxes on $250 billion. How does he get the money? He has to sell Tesla stock. We actually know he doesn't have money to pay tax on $250 billion because yesterday, when they were talking about the world hunger, they said $6 billion it would take to end world hunger. He said, okay, I will sell Tesla stock and end world hunger if you can show me how to do it. So that means he would have to sell Tesla stock to get anything above that to pay the taxes.
$6 billion worth. That's a lot.
Yeah. And he would have to sell more than $6 billion worth to pay taxes on $250 billion in unrealized gains. What are you doing? You're pulling money out of the equity markets. And then even if he did have the cash, let's say he had the $50 billion to pay the taxes.
Yeah.
He pays that. Well, what's the government going to do when the value of that stock tanks 50% next year? Are you going to refund them the $50 billion?
No, they're not going to do that.
That's a substantial risk to the government. In fact, you're going to have to take our money as taxpayers to reimburse him.
That's the whole point. That's what they're going for here. They're trying to take more of our money.
Because the problem, so when you're talking about like substantial amounts of money like that, and in the up and down in the stock market, and all the various factors, if you take the money in taxes, you would have to reimburse them if the value because they overpaid at that point,
right? And
you couldn't even spend the money like you'd want to because you'd have to hold it in case you had to pay it back. Because we're not talking about $100 here. We're not talking about $300 or $3,000 in unrealized gains tax. We're talking about billions of dollars in unrealized gains taxes.
Oh no, I'm with you. Trust me, because they're doing it for a specific reason, and that specific reason is because they want to take more money from us.
Yeah, absolutely. And they say, oh well, it won't impact Americans, regular Americans. It will because, like I just said, 56% of regular U.S. adults own individual stocks. Yeah. What happens when these billionaires start selling off these individual stocks? The value falls.
And people like us will
lose
sell.
Money.
Well, you lose money, but at the same time, you also sell because you're like, oh, shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're disincentivizing any future investment because people are like, well, I'm not going to invest in the stock market because, if I put too much money in there and I make all this money, I got to pay fucking half of it in taxes.
Right.
And I'm right back where I started.
Right.
So
It's a great way to cause a market crash.
It's just you're disincentivizing, and the stock market helps everyone because a lot of people are connected to the stock market.
Yeah.
Even if it's just $2 you have in it, a lot of people own stock
In something.
If you own a mutual fund, you own stock in a lot of the stuff that the billionaires have.
I was about to say, I mean, even if it's through your company, you still own stock.
Yeah. Like, but people don't realize it's all one cycle. It's all interconnected, right? When a billionaire goes in, and when Warren Buffett went and invested in May 2016, he put billions of dollars into Apple. The value of the Apple stock just skyrocketed. How many regular people owned Apple and took advantage of all the gains? A lot of people. I know a few.
I wish I'd been one of those people.
Yeah. So, because it was like Apple was like at like $60 or something. And it goes up, yeah. And it goes way up. And people get rich and people make money off of it. Regular everyday people. A lot of mutual funds and 401ks hold Apple. And Google and Amazon. You know why? They're blue chip companies. So the risk with a blue chip company, it's a good company. You get a good upside with less risk because they're financially stable. But if you're trying to fuck them over and tax them and tax the people investing into it, you're fucking everyone.
Yeah.
It's all connected, just like inflation's connected. We have about a 10% sales tax in Tennessee, right? I went to Kroger last night and I buy whole grain pasta, Zach, and I buy a box that's usually $1 box. Last night it was $1.59. Okay, so a 10% sales tax before, that box cost me $1.10. Now that box cost me $1.59 plus plus 15.9 cents. So $1.60. What would that be? $1.70 something.
Which most people would look at you and be like, well, that doesn't matter. But across the board, when you add everything up, that matters a lot.
Yeah, so that's where they raise taxes, because my tax bill, on the sales tax is more than what it was. They raised taxes on me. Inflation just raised taxes on me. Because they don't have a fixed amount for sales tax. It's not like you're paying $1 for every purchase. You're paying a percentage for every purchase.
Yep.
So if the price of a product you're buying goes up, because you're paying a percentage on the sales tax, you pay more in taxes.
Yep.
Holy shit, guys. We just raised taxes on you without even you fucking realizing it.
Oh, man.
People don't understand because they don't understand finances, or they just buy shit. Like in Australia,
I was about to say, normally people don't pay a whole lot of attention to taxes. They normally just go, they buy it, and they know they pay taxes. And that's it.
It's easier in the United States to realize how it screws you, because like when you go to Australia and you buy something, the price may be like $10 even. And it may be a little more expensive, but they've already added in the sales tax for that product before you buy it.
Oh.
Where in the United States, we don't.
It's a guessing game.
Yeah, like you don't know until you actually go up and scan it, and then you're about to pay, and it adds it on afterwards.
Yep. It's like playing Jeopardy.
Yeah. So, like, you could go look up the sales tax in Australia. They have one. It's just already... That's where... If they're smart, they'd probably do that because it's already included. So, whatever you see as the price is exactly what you pay for.
Yeah.
When you see something on a menu at a restaurant, you pay that exact price. Sales tax included, right? Here, you see, a steak cost me $8.99. Well, I know it's going to cost me, $10 then because of sales tax plus tip.
Right.
So, we can actually figure this out more. And the reason they do it is because people buy off a site. They buy off the price they see. And in your head, you say, well, there's sales tax, but I know, oh, shit, that only cost me $5. Well, really, in reality, it costs you $5.50.
Yeah.
But, things are going up, 50%. Hell, gas has doubled since last year. There's other reasons than inflation for that. But,
lots of other reasons.
Well, the reason why gas fell so much last year was because supply had skyrocketed, and actually the cost of oil went negative per barrel. Yeah, because they couldn't store it. They had nowhere to store it, so they were paying people to store it places.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because no one was driving because we were all locked up.
Yeah.
That's why
I like how you said that. We were all locked up.
Well, we were. We were all in COVID jail.
Yeah. I'm with you.
those are things that people don't realize. So like this unrealized capital gains, it's like you have to have the available cash to pay the taxes because you have to have real money to pay for unreal money.
Which makes no sense.
Yeah. So it's like the government saying, I'm going to take your real cash that you have based off of the made up amounts that the market says you're worth.
Yeah.
What? That doesn't sound very fair.
It's another ploy for them to try to get our money. They're really good at that.
Yeah.
They're really good at trying to get our money.
Well, they're only good at taking regular people's money.
Yeah.
They're not good at taking the rich's money because the rich are always going to find a way around it. What are they going to do? I'm selling if I know that this is about to come out, I'm getting rid of stuff now. Right? I'm slowly paying a little bit of taxes now. Or the other thing too is they're going to focus on how they can offset it. How are they going to offset it? Well, they're going to have another investment that they drive into the ground and take a loss on.
I like a drive into the ground.
Well, that's how they offset it. They offset it with losses.
I'm with you. I understand what you're saying. I just like the way you said it. It was good.
I mean, but it's going to hit mutual funds because you would have to tax the mutual funds for having all the unrealized gains that they have.
Yeah.
And that would directly be passed down to the people that own the mutual fund. Who owns the mutual fund? You and me, Zach, and the people listening.
I don't own it.
It's a pool of money.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Because right now they actually pass down realized capital gains. Because they buy and sell shares inside of the mutual fund, right?
I'm with you.
Well, if the mutual funds own Apple and they sell the shares of Apple and they have gains, that's passed down to the person that owns the mutual fund, which is regular people. Okay. Same thing with dividends. But now they're going to do unrealized gains. So that means even though they haven't sold anything inside that mutual fund, you're going to get a 1099 for your proportionate amount that you own of that fund. Here, you own one share of this mutual fund, you got to pay 50 cents in taxes.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. I just raised taxes on me.
Right.
Because I'm a part of a $10 billion mutual fund.
Yeah.
It all comes back around. They're saying, oh, we won't raise a dime of tax on anyone. We're not going to raise a dime of debt. It will raise a lot of debt. I wanted to actually say this yesterday when we were talking about the $450,000 that they wanted to pay for the illegals act. When the government says they're going to spend money, like $3.5 trillion. $3.5 trillion, when you do the math, is $10,600 per American. That's per American, not per taxpayer, because there's less taxpayers than there are Americans. Not everyone pays taxes.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot higher per taxpayer. So that's how people need to think about this. When the government says that they're going to implement new policy or expand on current policy that is spending $3.5 trillion, well, if you need to break it down, like, okay, that means it's going to cost $10,600 per American citizen.
Yeah, but that's because we poop money. You didn't know that?
Well, one thing we do ship money apparently.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, it also, to me, that shows the disproportionate amount that the rich pays more than the regular person in taxes, because most people don't pay any taxes, let alone $10,000 worth.
Oh no!
So that just shows you how much the rich is actually paying.
I would lose my mind if I had to pay $10,000 in taxes.
Well, you probably will this year. I mean, you'd be surprised because you don't necessarily see it.
Yeah, you're right.
It's taken out of your check.
Yeah.
So valid. Some people do pay that amount, right? But most people don't.
Yeah.
But yeah. So people need to realize that that's $10,600 per American.
That's so much money.
That's children and everyone. That's
so much money.
$3.5 trillion. Hell, they could just pass the $3.5 trillion and give everyone $10,500. and it'd be used better. Honestly, it would be used better than all the shit they're talking about doing.
I don't disagree with you.
It would be used far better because we're better at spending it than the government is.
But then you're talking about the government actually helping the people.
Well, it shouldn't be happen. Period. That's like redistributing it. But what it is it's the government then admitting that the private sector is better. When they gave out the stimulus checks, what did people do with that money? They wouldn't put it in the economy. They spent that shit. Look what happened with the economy. It freaking skyrocketed. after COVID. I'm not saying that we need to do that. I'm just saying that it would be better off done giving the money directly to the Americans, everyone.
Agreed.
And then it would be all the bullshit that the government's going to use it for. Because, they're going to use it for climate change. If it was so important, Joe Biden wouldn't have been falling asleep in the fucking meeting yesterday.
Truth.
If it was something that was life or death, you're not going to fall asleep in the meeting.
He's tired.
But I will admit that meeting was probably boring, and I would have fallen asleep too. I probably wouldn't have gone to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been there. It would not have been for me.
Because I was listening in the background, the person talking, I'm like, yeah, that's me falling asleep too. So I'm not going to fault Biden for falling asleep in a meeting like that.
Oh, I am.
Because I would have fallen asleep too. But I will say, I'm also not saying that it's life or death right now with climate change. Here's another thing. Think about this, Zach. If you have a big cooler full of water.
Okay.
All right. You take one ice cube.
Okay.
You put it in the corner of the cooler in the water.
Yeah.
And it melts. If it melts, the overall cooler will get just a little bit colder. But if it doesn't melt and it stays in the corner, only the water right around there will get cooler, right?
Uh-huh.
So if the ice caps melt on the Earth, all of the water will get fucking cold. Right? Which will cause what? A huge cooling of the Earth.
Yeah.
Right? Because the ocean's warming up is what causes big hurricanes and everything like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he agrees. The dog agrees. So, how would the ice caps melting cause global warming?
Is that what they're saying? I thought they said that the ice caps melting is because of global warming.
It is, but would it not cause the Earth to cool?
I would say it would cause it to cool for a certain amount of time, but not indefinitely.
So I'm going to look this up while we're talking about this. But let's see. Happens if Earth oceans cool down. But it's a big article. I'd have to read it. But I'm just saying that if you keep an ice cube in a cooler, and let's say it doesn't melt and it stays cold, it's only going to warm or cool the water down around there. Kind of like what it does right now.
Right.
Right? The water in the South Pole and the North Pole is cold or frozen. But the water in the middle is warm.
Uh-huh.
But if you melted all of it, water levels may rise. More water means a cooler Earth. But colder water means a lot colder Earth.
Yeah, but I wonder what the other not implications, but the other, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I guess the other causes of that cold water being spread out like that would have on the Earth.
Well, the Earth has been warm before. It goes in cycles.
Yeah.
Okay? It's been hotter in history than it is now.
Uh-huh.
Just like it's been colder in history.
Uh-huh.
Actually, did you know that in the Middle Ages, a lot of the reason for people coming here to the United States was they had like a little ice age over in Europe.
Really?
Yeah. And you know what also they say led to the Black Death, the plague?
Uh-huh.
Krakatoa, the volcano,
Yeah.
erupted. It's a huge volcano.
Uh-huh.
It actually had put so much ash and stuff into the air that it had caused the temperatures to substantially decline.
Really?
Yeah. And fleas and everything like that, when there's temperature changes,
Uh-huh.
I was watching this cool thing about it. Fleas will actually, that's how they get diseases and shit. Fleas are what gave people the plague. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I did not know that. That's new information to me.
There's a thing on Netflix about it, a documentary on Netflix about this. And Krakatoa was the reason why, like, all the way up to Italy and Rome and stuff like that, they had a huge cooling, like, ice age and stuff like that, and it had lasted for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think that also is what caused a little bit of the famine and everything.
I learned something new today.
Yeah. There's a documentary about this on Netflix. I'm not going to get into all the science behind it, but a lot of it was due to that volcano erupting.
Huh.
Yeah. So the other thing is we don't really, we can go back and speculate on what the Earth was like, but we really don't know. We want to say, we have stronger storms now than we ever did. That's not true. We only started tracking hurricanes like the last 100 years.
Yeah. We've tracked that long?
Yeah. Well, I know in Florida they can go back to like the 1920s.
Wow. That's
because
impressive.
Here's the other thing is the worst storms ever hit were in like the 1920s, especially in Florida. There were 2 that killed like 10,000 people more in Miami. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And then the Labor Day storm in the Keys. Oh, yeah. Fucked a lot of shit up. The Galveston storm, which is like the worst on record, that was back in the early 1900s.
Huh.
And you can say, well, we have better infrastructure, which we do. And we have bad storms now, but it's been going on like this for a while. It's not getting worse. In fact, in 2004, when Hurricane Charlie hit in Florida, I remember there was like 5 hurricanes, category 2 or higher, that hit Florida that year. And then you had Katrina in 2005, maybe, or maybe a year ahead. 2003 and then 2004 was when Katrina hit.
Yeah, I think you're somewhere in there.
So what I'm getting at is that then, like when I went to college, though, there was like a lull in hurricanes. Yeah, not a lot hit until Irma hit Naples. Yeah. So we had, a 3 or 4 year period there where they were bad.
Yeah.
And then there wasn't that many after that. And then it kind of spiked up again. And we've had a couple of the last few years. Yeah. And they're bad ones. I'm not saying they're not bad. Look, I've lived through them.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell you that they're worse now than they were before, or they're getting worse, because they're not getting worse. There's just as many.
Yeah.
It's just weather. And which also goes to the food thing we talked about yesterday with world hunger. A lot of that has to do with weather.
Yeah.
You have to be able to grow shit.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And when it's too hot, you can't grow nothing. Care who you are.
But if you live by the water, like in Naples, we have the Gulf breeze. It is colder or cooler in Naples than it is in Immokalee, just inland. Probably about 10 degrees cooler on average.
Interesting.
Because you're closer to the ocean. So if the water levels rise, and then it's colder, you're going to have less big storms, because hurricanes have to have warm water.
Yeah.
You can't have cold water. That's why you don't see hurricanes in the Arctic Ocean. And, I mean, it's just, a lot of this is common sense that I think is actually, the science is going against some of the science that we have been taught. And I showed you that picture today where it's on Facebook. Someone said, oh yeah, this is what the United States will look like during global warming. And it was like the Mediterranean Sea covering the United States. And they said some scientists made this, and they have Florida still as Florida above water, which is only a foot above sea level. And then the Rocky Mountains and everything were underwater. How the fuck does that work?
It's impressive.
I guess gravity doesn't...
it doesn't affect Florida.
Yeah, global warming affects gravity.
Yeah. Florida is immune to everything.
Well, this is New Orleans. All the southern states were still above, except Tennessee, were still above water.
So basically they're Tennessee haters.
What they're saying is climate change is not a change in weather, it's a change in gravity. I guess maybe it fucks up the magnetic fields. It gets rid of gravity and the law of physics. That's what it is.
That's good.
It gets rid of physics.
It gets rid of physics. Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, who the fuck puts a picture up on Facebook like this?
You know what? I think it'd be funny to meet people who do that kind of stuff. Could you imagine sitting down and having a conversation with them? Besides being infuriated, it would be kind of funny.
Okay. I knew this was a joke, and it was a money thing when they had a 16-year-old girl as a spokeswoman for it.
Oh, man, I remember that.
Greta Thunberg.
Yes, I remember that.
A 16-year-old woman. Think about it. People studied this shit for like 40 years. Right? But a 16-year-old girl knows more than they do?
It's because she's She's in what do they call it? Not special classes.
She's autistic.
No, not autistic.
He is autistic though.
Well, she may be, but that's not what I'm talking about. Gifted classes. That's it. She's in gifted classes.
And look, my cousin's autistic too, so I'm not like that's not a bad thing. Some of the smartest people in the world are autistic, right?
Yeah.
Elon Musk may be autistic, but actually I think he might be.
I could see that.
But I'm more focused on even I don't care if you're in a gifted class. People go through doctorate programs and experience and all that shit for fucking half of their life.
To be a scientist,
and we have a 16-year-old girl like that hasn't even had a conscious mind for the last 14 years of her life. Okay, and that's a spokeswoman for climate change.
They're trying to hit people's soft spots.
Well, because they're saying, "Oh, my generation's affected."
Yeah, whatever.
No, your generation's just worried about fucking.
Your generation's just dumb.
Your generation doesn't even know about climate change because you're inside playing video games.
Well,
you don't even know what the climate is.
Yeah. There's a lot more. There's a lot more.
You can't speak on climate change if you're not out in the climate.
Correct.
Like you guys are on iPads and computers. I'll tell you, I could have told you all about the fucking climate. Hell, it was hotter than shit in Florida growing up. You know, like there's some days it's like, golly, please.
Cool off a little bit. Give me a little bit of a breeze with some ice cubes in it.
I hope these ice caps melt soon. Shit, it is hot. I mean, make some damn snow cones or something. Like, how can you speak on it? Half your generation doesn't even go outside. What are you worried about? You got air conditioning.
Yeah. That's funny.
I mean, shit. But I'm not reading this article about if it cools the earth. I'm just speaking on a little experiment you could probably do at your house. Okay, because I know that if you put one ice cube in a glass of iced tea, it doesn't cool it down. But once it melts, it gets a little bit colder.
Just a little bit. It's kind of nice.
And the glass condenses, right? So it may rain more.
Did you say the glass condenses?
Like when it condenses, you get the
you mean
water
condensation?
Yeah, so it's just a short word, abbreviated word for that.
Okay.
Right?
I'll leave you alone on that one.
I didn't say it was right. Okay, look, I'm not speaking on the fucking science here, Zach.
Just use the word condensation.
I'm not a scientist. I'm just making fun of it.
Okay. Nobody come after him, okay? Just leave him alone.
It's like Dave Chappelle. He's not gay. He's just making fun of him.
Oh, my God. Okay. All right. Come on.
Shit. But, I mean, I will say this. As much as I don't know, I do know that our local weather people can't predict the fucking weather 5 hours in advance, and you want me to listen to them about climate change in 50 years. So, they also said that the world was going to end in 2012.
I remember that. That was wild. That was a good time.
You know, so I'm just saying.
Yep.
Predictions are like assholes. Everyone has one.
You're so clever. It's sickening.
But it's true. I mean, I told you, I've talked about that before, right? Like all the smartest people in the market and the economy want to make these predictions, and they're wrong more than 50% of the time. So you had a better chance of a monkey flipping a fucking coin, counting heads or tails, than you did listening to the doctorates making their economic predictions on what the economy is going to do.
Well, yeah. It's more fun to gamble, isn't it?
Well, it's not even gambling because you're not, I mean, what's the payout? Are you just going on there and saying, it's going to rain?
It's going to rain.
Gas is going up. That was easy.
Yeah, that's it.
I think the better gamble is how long I'm past mine because I think my bet would have been on in a couple months Joe Biden would have been out of office, Kamala Harris, for step down due to health reasons, and then Kamala Harris would have been president. I would have lost that. He's done a lot further than
he's made it kind of far
than I thought. But he's starting to fall asleep.
He is. Oh, Sleepy Joe's coming through.
And I heard he shit himself at the Pope's house the other day. I'm not going to make fun of someone for doing that. Look, I'm not going to make fun of someone for falling asleep. I'm not going to make fun of someone for having an accident. That sucks because he is getting old.
I agree.
Okay, there's things that are out of our control, and if he has dementia, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't wish that on anyone, no matter how much of an asshole you are.
I agree.
Except the child molesters, because that would actually help them. Dementia would help them.
Yeah, because they
don't
forget what they were
remember how
trying
much
to
of a
do.
fuck up they are.
No, they'd be in the middle of trying to do bad things, and they'd forget what was going on.
Wouldn't shock therapy work on child molestation?
What do you mean shock therapy?
Like where they fuck your brain up and you can't remember anything?
Yeah, but I think you're.
Or what is it called? Not the shock therapy, but when they did the shit through your eye and they went in your brain and fucked up your frontal lobe. A lobotomy.
Oh my God,
That would work.
You're going back to Egypt, man.
No, that they did that in the beginning of the 1900s here in those mental hospitals.
Did they really?
I think so. Yeah, I was watching a show. What show was it? Where they were doing that. They did it to like lesbians. Yeah, they did it to a bunch of some really bad stuff.
Wow. All right, you got me on that one. I didn't know about that.
A lobotomy. Yeah, it's like what show was it? It was on Netflix, and they were showing this guy like going in there and they take like an ice pick and
oh my God,
and ruin it.
That sounds terrible.
Changes your like you just are a zombie after that.
You know how painful that sounds?
Well, they were asleep.
Oh.
Could you imagine going like you're a regular person, right? You really don't have anything wrong with you. Just society doesn't accept you. So you I want to be fixed. Okay, well we're gonna do this.
Nope.
You go to sleep and you wake up and you just
have no idea what the heck's going on. You're basically like a vegetable.
Dude. Well, they were like functioning. They were walking around and stuff, but it's just you're different.
I bet you were different. I bet. I 100% bet because basically your brain is now.
We should give. You know how they want to do the like give hormone therapy to the kids that say that they're a woman or a man. We should give chemical castration to people that molest children.
That'd be good.
Or no, not chemical castration, real castration.
Real castration. You talking about a band or what?
You touch my kid, you lose your nuts.
You touch my kid, you lose your nuts.
What is it called? What are those people called that back in the day that did that? They
eunuchs.
Had a eunuch. We're gonna unify you.
Unicify.
That's the new word.
Oh, that's funny.
I believe in capital punishment, baby. An eye for an eye.
You are something else.
What was it? The campaign? Say, you get my kid to call you daddy, I'll fuck your wife.
I love that movie. That's so funny.
I mean, dude, the fact that this guy that Kyle Rittenhouse shot had 11 charges of child molestation with anal rape, and they put the anal rape in. That is so fucked.
Yeah, that's wild. On so many different levels, that's wild.
Dude, I can't stop. I was like, when I heard that today, and you have to go watch Louder with Crowder on YouTube, Zach. He is so funny. All of them are. They don't give a shit. He's been kicked off of YouTube like 4 times.
I enjoy Louder with Crowder.
Huh?
I enjoy Louder with Crowder.
Yeah. Well, they were doing a live thing on the trial today. I was watching that. Oh, they were going in on
really?
This. Yeah.
I could see that. He's. Yeah, I enjoy him. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, but he's right, and I'm right when it comes to these. But the left is literally, because I think I saw some not long ago where they were actually like trying to make a case like that pedophilia was okay. I can't remember when it was, but it was like these people, and some of them were famous, like up there. And it's going to be like a Hollywood person or a famous person because they're all about that shit out there.
They're about something like that.
All those actors and stuff out in Hollywood, that's like a big thing.
Yeah. Dude, okay. Before I get sick to my stomach, let's stop talking about pedophilia. I can't. Nope.
But we should put them in like the most dangerous game. People would pay to go hunt pedophiles.
You mean like Squid Games?
You ever seen that most dangerous game?
Yeah.
Where the guy hunts a human?
What about Squid Games?
No, not Squid Games, because someone can win a bunch of... No.
Well, no, we wouldn't let them.
They would like those child games, though, wouldn't they?
They would. But they really would.
I know, because then they'll get like a little bit of pleasure out of that. No.
Yeah, you're right.
No, I'm talking about like we put them in the woods.
Okay.
And you pay it's $20.
$20.
Yeah,
wow.
Cheap.
That's
you have so much
cheap.
demand to go hunt pedophiles.
Dude, that's cheaper than like a regular date night. I mean, you're going.
You bring your own ammo, bring your own gun, whatever you want to use.
All right, now you're getting a little pricey.
No, you bring your own ammo and your own gun. So obviously you pay for that, but I'm talking about just the cost to go hunt them.
Yeah, but now you're getting kind of dark.
I'm just getting creative. I'm not getting dark.
No, you're getting dark.
They're going to face a bigger threat in prison.
No, they won't face a bigger threat in prison. They'll just die.
Have you seen what those guys do to them in prison?
Oh, I can only imagine. I don't want to see.
There's I watched Jay Williams Let's Live Life is the YouTube channel. He talks about his experiences when he was in federal prison. He's a very good storyteller.
Yeah.
And he talks about some of those guys and what happened to them. There was one guy, Zach, they found out he had raped his 2-year-old. And he had been in jail for like 2 years. Yeah. But they found out he raped his 2-year-old. This guy, I mean, I'm not even going to go into it because it's just disgusting what he described. Just know that my little dangerous game idea is not even, cutting their balls off idea is not even close to what this guy went through.
I can imagine.
For an extended period of time. And you know you know how they found out?
How?
A woman guard that was new, came in because the guy was in jail for like 2 years and he never really talked to anyone. This woman guard that was from the county that this guy lived in recognized him. She went and looked up the article and then printed it out and put it up on a bulletin board they had in the pod area with prisoners and put it up there while he was at work.
Really?
And all these the prisoners went up there and started reading. It was like, what the fuck? Yeah, she was a woman. You know, she didn't want that.
I'm with her. I agree. That's good.
And they were
I bet they tore him up.
Oh yeah, like and it's not just child molestation, it's rape. It's anything like that. Yeah. Anything with like a child that you. Yeah. And rightfully so. So I mean, I think them. Doing that. So that's kind of the conversation today. We'll end it with that. But we will. I don't think we'll be back on tomorrow, but maybe Thursday. And remember, you can support the podcast. Go donate some money. Everything is appreciated. Or go leave us a review. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Real Conservative Talk, or our YouTube channel, which is also Real Conservative Talk as well. And we will talk to you later.